Okay, good Friday morning YouTube. This vlog could be titled Friday is a Bust if I don't list anything. Had some stuff this morning to take care of, so I just got into the office super late. It is about like 3 p.m. I don't even know exactly. Yeah, it's like 2:30, just past 2:30. So definitely not the 7 a.m. start I wanted to get, but I can still turn around. So that's the thing this morning. Not going to be negative. It's time to get into the vlog for today. I have a lot of stuff I need to do. First off though, I actually need to finish up and figure out how to end the vlog for Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. So I guess we'll be doing that here for a little while, and then after that, I'll be getting a bunch of stuff listed. Luckily, most of the stuff here is pretty much ready to go. I should be able to easily knock out the camera stuff in a short amount of time today. Okay, so I got the vlog for Thursday all ended up and everything there. I have a couple vlogs to edit to be caught up there. I need to get my one up for Wednesday, I believe. So that still needs to be edited further. That is going to be a bit of a long one. Shouldn't be that bad. Let's hit the ground running, get some listings going. That one can go up at about 7 p.m. Anyway, also got some new shoes. Whoa, Diesel Mark II, Diesel Part 2. Going to see if the laces eventually rip on these shoes, and in that case I will contact Diesel and buy, or at least have them send me some new laces slash shoes. That is the red version of the shoes I had before. Got a bit of a deal on them, and just decided to go for them. I've been liking those shoes so far, just breaking them in here a little bit. The first batch of stuff to list is right here, and a few different things mixed in there. Let's get it going. So whenever I do these testing segments, I could definitely schedule, or not, what do you call it, plan out or script a lot of it, and that would probably be a lot better, like test the camera ahead of time and then know what to do with the batteries and all that. But this really is just kind of raw and uncut and kind of how I do it. This is a camera I have never had the pleasure of buying and selling before, so it's quite an interesting one. This is an Agfa Ambiflex, made in Germany. This is one of Agfa's higher-end system SLR cameras. We've sold some of the accessories before. As you can see, it has a removable viewfinder, which could be replaced by a bunch of different types. And we sold the lenses off of these, but I don't think we've ever had a complete camera. Not exactly sure on current pricing details on it, but it should be a pretty good one. As for the 50s shutter mechanism, I doubt it works. Most of these don't. But let's start at bulb and try it out. First, take the lens off here. The lens release button is right here, I believe. Twist the top portion of the lens. It comes off. This is what you would call a external shutter unit camera. The actual shutter and settings are right around the lens there. And the front of the lens is sort of like just a piece of the whole thing. It sort of seems like it does have a mirror back in there and all that, like a traditional SLR camera. There's bulb. And as expected, doesn't seem to work correctly. It does have a leaf shutter design, which is really interesting. It has a leaf shutter and a mirror that flips up. See it from the back here. As you can see, the mirror does not seem to flip all the way up. That's one of the first issues, and secondly, the shutter doesn't seem to open fully. So, as expected, this camera does not work. These were very mechanical, very complicated cameras back in their day. So there's always a lot of issues with them. On the other hand, the light meter seems to work. This is actually a selenium type meter, which is built into the camera right there. That is the old mechanical, no battery type of meter, so that's kind of cool. You put it down here, the meter needle goes down. We put it towards the light, it goes up. Seems to work fairly well. This one here also had a flash sync right here for syncing a flash, and just a whole bunch of other fancy options that are very interesting. As for the lens, very simple, very straightforward testing. This actually may have an integrated aperture. Yes, it does. There's no aperture ring actually on the lens. The lens aperture is controlled by the camera and the camera body. So the shortcut to that is there's a little nub right here. That's where it links with the camera. That can be opened and closed to test it. And usually I'll hold that open to check the optics, which this one, I can't tell if it's dust or something actually on the front element, but it seems to be in fairly good condition. The focusing is actually not too bad. Some of these lenses focus very stiffly because the oil in there dries up. All in all, seems to be a fairly good display camera. It'll be sold for parts. I'll have to decide whether or not to take and piece out some of the parts on there. I know it's a fairly valuable camera. It should be somewhere in the $100 range, even for parts, if I had to guess. One more here. We have a Mamiya 500 DTL. It's pretty simple. Basically, I just wind the shutter. I'll take this lens off here. It's not a locking M42. It's just a standard M42 screw mount. which a screw mount, as the name implies, is just a screw mount, as opposed to a bayonet mount, which actually has a single twist. Just click, push a button, click off, screw mount, it just screws and screws until it locks. There are locking screw mounts, there are non-locking screw mounts. It is all around one standard though, that was 42 millimeters. And this one does not work correctly. You can tell there, I was in bulb mode. Let's go to 1/60th. And that actually seemed to work fairly well. Let's see here. And actually that is not opening there. So, this one definitely has some issues. There's a reason it was on display. It's because it doesn't work correctly. The lens on there is going to be a good one. Just as it optically checks out. Which, see here, it seems to need some dust clean on the front, but seems fairly good. Focusing seems to work. Aperture seems to work. That should be a good one. A few other lenses here to test. Those are all pretty straightforward. I guess I'll just update you if I find anything else. Just gotta get some stuff pictured and get this show on the road. Probably gonna rack the package here later today. The stuff that we bought from Esslinger, all the watch batteries and similar stuff should be coming hopefully today. It depends on which service it's coming by. If it's coming UPS, it's not going to be here. If it's coming UPS, or I should say USPS, that will be here. Since it's a Friday, so I'm not sure exactly because USPS already came today. Have to see exactly what happened to that. It should have come probably today or yesterday, so just get a tracking on that. Okay, so done with a big batch of photos here, about 90 photos, all these different items. I got a little bit overly artsy with the shots, so definitely took me a tad longer than usual, but that was just a quick distraction. So, these seem to have turned out pretty well. That's always an advantage when you get all the fancy shots in there. These are all straight out of camera, as I've been doing this whole time. I really need to get some listing on the road, so it's time to do that here shortly. Let's just get through these in a reasonably quick manner. Lens photos and everything, I always like to catch the reflections correctly and make sure everything seems to work out. As you can see, in general, pretty good. Couple there that won't be listed, and there's a watch photo that's from a little while ago. So anyway, I think I'm going home here in about an hour. Let's knock out most, if not all, of these items right here. Forgot to mention, that's certainly the power of a Q-tip and just a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and of course that blowing off we did of yesterday there. This is one of the super dusty cameras. That over there is too. As you can see, you really can't tell the difference. All these different super dusty cameras turned out super shiny and super nice looking compared to what they were. So of course has some leatherette missing, but still. Okay, back in the office. Not sure exactly what I filmed today. I need to remember to film some stuff here actually. I went home, ate some supper, did some scootering, ran around, did some stuff there. Probably should have zipped back a little bit quicker. Anyway, our quitting time is 11 tonight, and this is turning out to be a pretty slow Friday. There are, let's see, 15 listings there, just a bunch of small stuff. Just about done with this stuff. Have about 5 lenses there and a broken power winder to list. And then we'll be on our way. Let's see here. We are right at just about 9 o'clock, so about 2 hours left to list tonight. Let's get on it. So let's watch the Battle of the Barracks here and listing some lenses. And I mentioned that this one should be a good one here. This Carl Zeiss Planar 50-17. Thought it was kind of interesting here. Most Zeiss lenses were made in Germany. This was made in Japan, probably in the Yashica factory if I had to guess, because this was the contact / Yashica mount. Anyway, like I said, this should go for a little bit, and the initial search here is pretty good. I just looked up Planar 50mm 1.7, and I'm actually on lowest first, just by coincidence, because I was doing it earlier. There's the lowest first. Sold. Looks pretty good. Let's scroll down here and just see how high it gets before we find one that's about where I'm going to list it. Let's go all the way to the top here. Usually go highest to lowest, but in this case, it's looking pretty good. I'm saying that's a pretty easy $150 plus list. Whenever you're looking up an item and really want to determine the sell-through on it, the easiest way is just to kind of check briefly how many are listed there. 36 for Planar 51.7. And then you go either complete or sold. Sold is probably more realistic. Anything that has a 1-to-1 or a greater ratio is a great seller. As you can see with this one, unsold has a 1-to-1. 36 listed, and let's see here. Like 98 completed too is a pretty good metric. That is a super desirable lens. Basically the Contax lenses, or the Carl Zeiss lenses, made for the Contax / Yashica mount. were actually made in Japan by Yashica. So, interesting. Anything with a Carl Zeiss name on it seems to be pretty good. It's one of those lenses, basically, where the lens construction, all the specifications and all that really doesn't match the price of the lens. Like a standard 50mm f1.8 lens like that, for a modern camera is probably around $100 to $120, but for a vintage camera, the majority of them are in the probably $30 price range where we usually sell them. So that one's quite an exception, and I'm probably going to list it up at $179.99. Maybe even $189.99. Zero scratches on it. Thoroughly inspected the front element there, cleaned it really thoroughly with a cloth, a blower, and a bunch of other stuff there just to make sure it really shines for the person who gets it. 2 caps, good lens. And if I had to bet, I'd say that lens will be gone first time it goes on sale, so probably a week or so. So those tend to sell out pretty quick. Got some good photos on there, as you can see. Fancy shots, cropped them in the eBay editor. Let's get the rest of those listed. Okay, so tonight is not going super well. Just going to say that it's a bust right now, and I think I'm going to call off here. There is what I got listed there, 21 items. So actually not horrible, but not super great. Just listed kind of slow and sluggy. I think what I'm going to do for the remaining 30 minutes till we quit tonight, going to edit the vlog for, let's see here, I'm on Wednesday vlog, I believe. Let's get that edited because that was supposed to go up today and it's not up. Anyway, one quick thing here. I finally figured out a spacer for this camcorder here. I used this a long time ago as my skate/scooter camcorder. This is really an interesting thing here because it has a super fisheye lens. I will definitely be using this more later, especially for the old school look. And similar, if you notice 3CCD and 1080p, basically this is one of the only 1080p 3CCD camcorders that I could find on the market. And I got a great deal on this thing a while back. So anyway, let's pop the card in there and see how that looks. Okay, well, I attempted to use this camcorder and it says data cannot be used due to incompatible data. Or no, something like that. Card cannot be used because of incompatible data. Anyway, this is the super fisheye camcorder. As you can see, this is the same exact arm length that I had in my previous shot there, but it is much, much wider. Very, very wide. In fact, that is pretty crazy. It's a 0.3 times fisheye. I actually have a 0.2 I could try on here as well. But this is great for vintage styled skate footage because this is how a lot of it used to look. Same with old scooter stuff. I think this can compare to VX1000 with the right color grading and all that. Of course, it has a lot of modern features. It is full 1080p and all that. It's a pretty fancy fisheye I have on here too. This is about top of the line for something like this. So it should be pretty good. Definitely get some more testing and stuff like this in the future. Microphone should be pretty good too. It's a 5.1 channel surround sound thingamabobber. I did have to use a different card, like I said, but it seems to work. That's that. Okay, back on the normal camera. It is actually Monday morning. I did not end the vlog for Friday. Didn't put the, what do you call it there? The sold items in the video. So let's do that quickly. First up on the Northwest Kansas Watches channel, we have a vintage Rado 18mm flat-end Diastar gold-plated steel inox Swiss watch bracelet. Not in perfect condition. We picked this up at the flea market on some sort of Timex watch, I believe, for like $5 or something similar. That sold for $47.49, pretty quick. These go in nice shape for as much as $150, maybe even more. Next up here, a new old stock Kenko 62mm Y2 yellow double face coated filter. These sell fairly well, but they aren't super great sellers. We just list them all up at some point, and they start clicking off eventually. This one sold for $12.99. Next up here, a rare box Hasselblad shutter speed multiplier 60X. This one sold for $34.13. I really don't even know what this thing does. It's a really oddball accessory for Hasselblad. Next up here, a female Kodak ASA bayonet flash tip to MAL PC Sync post adapter, sold for $23.24. Next up here, a Panasonic Lumix DMC TZ4, little digital camera there, sold for $58.80. Next up here, a woolen sock Raptor 50mm f4.5 microfilm projection lens. It's going to be reused on different cameras, little mirrorless cameras and stuff. People can use that lens. Sold for $27.26. Next up here, a Zeiss Icon light yellow filter. Sold for $19.71. And next up here, a rare unusual Ansco 127 film brass spool. This sold for $12.99. Next up here, a Graflex XL Series 8 to 49mm lens filter thread adapter ring with retaining ring. Sold for $19.23. Then a Graflex XL Series 8 square metal screw-in lens hood. Sold for $27.01. Samsung SC D372 mini DV tape camcorder. Sold for $73.30. And last but not least here, an Auto Mamiya Secor 50mm f2.0 Pentax M42 mount prime lens. Sold very quick for $15.99. Had some scratches in the element, so not too bad. Good sales as usual. Anyway, that's where I'm going to end off the Friday vlog for today. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe below if you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more vlogs coming as soon as tomorrow. Noah out. Goodbye.